The chamber lights burned so bright that Hale had to shield his eyes. Through the glass, Lena stood motionless, shoulders pulled back, chin lifted, her expression frozen somewhere between calm and predatory. The glow in her eyes pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat syncing with the facility's humming generators. "Lena!"
Hale shouted.
"It's me." She didn't react, not even a flinch. Instead, she tilted her head the way someone does when listening to a distant voice. Her lips parted slightly, as though she was repeating something whispered directly into her mind. Behind Hale, the burned man, Subject 3, staggered forward. "She's not hearing you," he rasped. "The signal is inside her. It overrides everything else." "What signal?"
Hale demanded.
The burned man pressed his hand against the glass. Phase 4 rewrites the subject's instincts. They stop being themselves. They become receivers. Hale's pulse hammered. For what? For whoever created the call. Lena suddenly turned her head toward Hale, but there was no recognition in her eyes, only analysis, like she was categorizing him. Subject 3 pulled Hale back. "If she breaks out, she won't see you as someone to trust. She'll see you as an interruption." Sparks crackled through the chamber's security locks. The glass trembled. "Why is she reacting like this?"
Hale shouted.
Subject 3 stared at the flickering lights. "Because she's completing the same transformation they forced on us." The chamber door bolts began unlocking by themselves, one by one, without anyone touching the controls. A harsh alarm blared through the facility as the chamber's final bolt clicked out of place. Hale stepped back, raising the crowbar, but Subject 3 grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "Don't attack her. She'll respond with force you can't match." "What do I do?"
Hale demanded.
"Survive," the burned man muttered. The chamber door slid open, steam curling out like breath from a sleeping beast. Lena stepped through slowly, her bare feet silent against the concrete floor. Her amberlit eyes moved mechanically from Subject 3 to Hale, to the ceiling cameras that tracked her every motion. "Lena," Hale whispered, lowering the crowbar. "I'm here to take you home." She blinked once, but instead of answering, she extended her hand as if expecting something. When Hale didn't respond, she turned toward the corridor and started walking. Subject 3 stiffened. She's following the pull, the signals guiding her to the next checkpoint. Hale ran after her. Where is she going? The burned man didn't move. To whoever activated her. Suddenly, static burst from the vent system. A distorted voice, neither male nor female, whispered, "Subject 4, continue forward." Lena froze. Then, in perfect synchronization with the voice, she repeated softly, "Continue forward." Her face remained blank. Obedient, Hale stepped in front of her, blocking her path. "Lena, look at me. You know me." She cocked her head again. Then, with alarming speed, her hand shot forward and gripped his wrist with crushing pressure, enough to make his bones ache. Subject 3 shouted, "Let go of him!" But Lena didn't. Instead, she whispered something that made Hale's blood run cold. "Mark, you're late." For a moment, Hale thought she recognized him. Her voice carried a softness he hadn't heard since the day she went missing. But when she lifted her gaze, the amber glow flickered like a malfunction. Two expressions warred across her face. One terrified, one controlled. Subject 3 limped between them and placed a hand over hers. "Lena, listen to the part of you that remembers." A shockwave of light burst from her eyes, sending him stumbling back. "Don't touch me," she said, but her voice wasn't hers. It was layered, doubled, like two people speaking at once. Hale crouched beside Subject 3. "What's happening to her?" "She's splitting," the burned man wheezed. "Her real self is fighting the implanted command." Before Hale could respond, Lena dropped to her knees, clutching her head. "Stop talking," she whispered to no one visible. Her fingers dug into her scalp. I'm not you," Subject 3 whispered. "This is what broke the others." A computerized tone echoed from overhead speakers. "Subject 4 experiencing resistance. Apply override pattern C." Lena screamed as a piercing frequency vibrated through the walls.
Hale grabet her shoulders.
Lena, fight it. You're stronger than whatever they did. For a split second, her eyes dimmed. Mark, he tightened his grip. I'm right here. But then something shifted. Her posture straightened. Her breathing changed. Her eyes reignited, stronger, brighter, almost predatory. Let go, she said, cold and empty. Hale felt a chill run up his spine. Lena didn't push his hands away. She lifted him effortlessly by the collar with inhuman strength. Hale crashed against the wall, pain shooting down his spine. Lena didn't look angry, just focused, as if adjusting to her new abilities. She stepped forward, studying him like prey she wasn't allowed to kill yet. Subject 3 moved between them, limping but determined. Lena, listen to me. They're using your mind. You have to fight the voice. She tilted her head, analyzing him. You are Subject 3, she said in a tone that didn't belong to her. You are compromised. Compromised.
Hale murmured.
Subject 3 whispered. It means they want her to eliminate me. Lena reached out with one hand, and the metal ceiling grate above them snapped loose, crashing to the floor. Not by touch, not by force, by intent. Phase 4 abilities, Subject 3 muttered. She's activating faster than we did. Lena's amber eyes flickered to the left. Proceed to the vanishing point. Hale pushed off the wall. Where is the vanishing point? Her head jerked slightly, as if resisting the built-in command. A small crack appeared in the obedience. Don't go, she whispered. Mark, don't. Then her face twisted, the other presence taking over again. Proceed. Subject 3 stepped forward. If you take her there, she won't come back. Lena's eyes locked onto him. For a moment, Hale thought she might attack. Instead, she smiled faintly, an unnatural, eerie smile, and said, Subject 3, you will not be needed. The lights flickered violently. A siren blared overhead as all doors in the facility unlocked at once. Something was coming for Lena and for them. Heavy footsteps thundered through the corridor above them. Fast, coordinated, not humanly clumsy. Hale and Subject 3 exchanged a look. They're here, the burned man said. Who? Hale asked. Subjects 1 and 2. 2 more enhanced soldiers. The ceiling vents rattled. Dust rained down. A shape dropped from above, landing silently in the hallway ahead. A tall figure, muscular, face masked with scorched skin, movements precise like a machine. Target acquired, he said in a monotone voice. A second figure appeared behind Lena, blocking the exit. Lena stood perfectly still, like she was waiting for instructions. Subject 4, the first figure said, Follow. Subject 3 grabbed Hale's arm. If she goes with them, she's gone. Forever. Hale stepped forward. Lena, don't move. For the first time since her awakening, she hesitated. Her fingers twitched. The glow in her eyes dimmed just slightly. One of the masked figures turned toward Hale. Interference detected. He raised his hand. There was a loud metallic snap, and part of the wall tore open like paper.
Hale bareli rolle daside.
Lena screamed. Her scream, not the implanted voice. As if the attack shook something loose inside her. The 2 figures locked onto her reaction. Subject 4 destabilizing, the taller one said. Immediate extraction required. They stepped toward her. Lena backed away, shaking violently, fighting the command. Subject 3 whispered urgently to Hale. This is your only chance to break the signal. How? You have to separate her from them, he said. By force if you have to. Hale stared at the enhanced soldiers closing in. Lena suddenly looked at Hale with terrified human eyes and whispered, Mark, help me, before I disappear. Emily stared at the precinct wall clock, its second hand slicing the silence like a blade. 3:17 a.m. She hadn't slept in nearly 30 hours, but adrenaline kept her upright. On the table in front of her lay the burner phone they'd recovered from the cornfield. Mud-soaked, cracked, but miraculously still working. She slipped on gloves and pressed the power button. A loading screen flickered, then a single notification popped up. One audio message, unplayed. She tapped it. A distorted male voice whispered, "You're too late." Her blood iced. The message timestamp was from exactly 7 minutes after Emily had entered that field with the search team. He had been there watching, hidden, moving in the shadows as they stood clueless inches away. Owen stepped forward. "Play it again." She did. The same voice, same calm, same horrifying certainty. "We need to track this," Emily muttered, already pulling cables from the evidence kit. But as she connected the phone to the system, the screen went black. No error, no shutdown animation, just instant death. Then a faint smell of burned circuitry filled the room. "Is that self-destruct coding?" Owen asked. Emily nodded slowly, her jaw tightening. Whoever recorded that knew exactly how to cover his tracks. But she wasn't the type to back down. She grabbed the extraction toolset, determined. "He left a message," she whispered. "And no one leaves a message without leaving a footprint." She began digging into the dead phone's internals. But what she found next would crack the investigation wide open and tear open a past she hoped she'd never revisit. The phone's memory chip was scorched, but not entirely. Emily used a forensic heater and microprobe to lift a tiny portion of the silicon. After a tense minute, her monitor displayed a fragment of data, a partial GPS ping. One coordinate, one, and it matched a location she wished she had never seen again. "Fort Rainer Storage Facility," Owen read. "What's there?" Emily didn't answer immediately. That silence stretched too long. Owen noticed her shoulders stiffen, her breathing shift. "I used to work a missing persons case there," she said finally. "Years ago, a girl vanished after texting that she was being followed. We searched the storage units, found nothing, but the family swore she was inside one of them." "What happened to the case?" Emily hesitated. "It was closed. Not by me. The GPS ping wasn't random. It was intentional, sent to her." "He wants you back there," Owen said. "This is personal." "No," she corrected. "This is a challenge." Owen grabbed the keys. "Let's go." But Emily knew this wasn't a simple lead. The message, the timing, the location, it was a trap designed for her specifically. And she was going to walk right into it. Fort Rainer sat on the outskirts of town, an abandoned maze of rusted storage units and flickering perimeter lights. The wind whistled through broken chain link fencing as Emily and Owen stepped out of the SUV, weapons holstered but ready. "Power grid's half dead," Owen said. "Feels like a horror movie." Emily ignored the comment. She paced toward Unit 47, the same one from her old case. She hadn't been inside it for years, but the air still felt dense with memory. A fresh padlock hung from the latch. Too fresh. Emily examined it. "He wants us to open this." Owen drew bolt cutters, snapped the lock, and pulled the door upward. Darkness. Thick, heavy, almost physical. They flicked on their flashlights and stepped inside. At first, the unit looked empty. Just dust, crates, and old sheet metal. Then Emily noticed footprints in the dust. Small.
Bare.
And recent. Her pulse spiked. Owen's light swept the back wall. Something metallic glinted. A phone. Not hidden. Placed perfectly in the center of the floor. Another burner. Emily exhaled. "He's leading us step by step." Owen frowned. "Or he's watching us follow." Emily knelt and picked up the phone. The instant her fingers closed around it, the screen lit up automatically. One video file, untitled. "Play it," Owen said. Emily tapped it. The footage was grainy, the camera unstable. A dim room, concrete walls, a single overhead bulb, and a girl, late teens, trembling, sitting on a chair with her wrists zip-tied. Her breathing was frantic. A man stepped into frame but stayed out of the light. Only his silhouette showed. He crouched beside the girl and whispered something inaudible. She nodded fearfully. Then he leaned into the camera. Not enough to reveal his face, but enough to reveal his voice. The same one from the audio message. "You can't save everyone, detective." Owen froze. He knows your badge. He knows you. Emily's throat tightened. He didn't just know her badge. He knew her past. Suddenly, the video cut to static. Then a new message appeared. Unit 12. 1 hour. Emily's chest tightened. Unit 12 was the most isolated building on the property. No cameras, no electricity, no exits except one. This wasn't an invitation. It was an ultimatum. They sprinted across the facility, gravel crunching under their boots as the night grew colder. Emily didn't wait for backup. She didn't want sirens. She didn't want delay. This was the closest they'd been to the missing girl, and she wasn't willing to lose that chance. Unit 12 stood at the far edge of the compound, its metal walls dented and its number plate half hanging off. A faint light glowed from inside. Impossible, since the facility's power grid had died years ago. Owen whispered. He brought his own power source. Emily placed her palm on the cold metal door. She heard breathing inside. Not one person, two. She motioned for Owen to step back. Then she pulled the door open fast and raised her flashlight. The beam hit an empty room. No girl, no man, just a portable light on the ground, aimed at the wall. A message was spray-painted in dripping black strokes. You're chasing the wrong girl. Emily felt the world tilt. The wrong girl. Owen stepped in, scanning every corner. What does that mean? Who's the right one? Before Emily could answer, her phone buzzed violently in her pocket. Unknown number. One new message. She opened it. A single photograph, taken from inside her apartment. Tonight. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she stared at the photo. It was her apartment. Same layout, same dim hallway light flickering like it always did. But this picture was different. The angle, the shadows, the timing. Someone had taken it from inside, standing just feet from her bedroom door. And on the floor, almost invisible unless you knew to look, was a small silver hair clip. One she recognized instantly. It belonged to the missing girl. He's been there, Emily whispered. Recently. Owen stepped beside her. This means he's tracking you. Maybe has been for months. She pocketed her phone, jaw clenched. We're leaving. Now. They sped back across town. And as Emily's apartment building came into view, every instinct in her body screamed danger. The street was too quiet. The lights too still. No movement. No sign of neighbors. Just a suffocating silence that pressed against the windows. Gun drawn, Emily led the way up the stairs. Her front door was closed, the lock unbroken, but something was wrong. She could feel it. She twisted the knob slowly. The door swung open with a creak that sliced through the hallway. Everything was exactly where she had left it. Couch, table, jacket on the hook. Nothing out of place. Owen whispered. If he was here, he cleaned up. Emily moved deeper inside, scanning each corner. Bathroom, clear. Kitchen, clear. Bedroom, she froze. On her pillow sat a burner phone. Brand new, lit screen. One message waiting. Emily approached the phone cautiously, the room narrowing around her as she picked it up. The message preview glowed. Ready for the truth, detective? Her stomach nodded. This wasn't taunting anymore. This was orchestration. Intentional. Personal. Every step leading to this moment. Owen secured the windows and checked behind the doors while Emily tapped the message open. A new address appeared. A warehouse on Harbor Line Road, right by the river. An isolated area often used by traffickers and smugglers. The perfect place to hide someone. The perfect place to bait a cop. Owen looked over her shoulder. He wants you alone. I know. You're not going alone. Emily didn't argue. She was done with isolation, done with chasing shadows. If the girl was alive, this was their last chance. They drove toward the river, headlights slicing through the fog as the industrial district swallowed them whole. Rusted cranes towered like silent sentinels, and the smell of oil and brine hung heavy in the air. The warehouse looked abandoned from the outside. Windows blacked out, roof sagging, chain lock rusted. But as they approached, a low humming noise rumbled from within. Machinery running, lights buzzing, and then a scream, high-pitched, terrified. The girl. Emily's heart slammed against her ribs. She broke into a sprint, Owen right behind her, both weapons drawn. They reached the main door, locked from the outside. Then a shadow moved behind the crack at the bottom of the door. They weren't alone. Owen kicked the door once, twice. On the third impact, it snapped open with a metallic groan. Emily rushed in first, her flashlight slicing through the darkness. The interior wasn't what she expected.
No crats.
No equipment.
No clutter.
It was staged, completely empty except for a single chair placed at the center, illuminated by a hanging bulb. On the chair sat a laptop, screen glowing bright against the darkness. And the missing girl was on the screen. Not live footage, recorded. She looked exhausted, trembling, eyes swollen from crying. Behind her, the same concrete room from the earlier video. Emily whispered, "Pause it," but the laptop ignored the command. The video continued as if the controls had been disabled. The man stepped into the frame once again, staying just outside the light. His voice was calm. "You've been chasing the wrong lead, detective. The girl is not the key. You are." He placed his hand on the girl's shoulder, and she flinched violently. "Everything is connected," he continued. "The old case, the storage facility, Harbor Line Road, and your apartment. None of this began tonight." Emily's fingers tightened around her weapon. The man leaned closer to the camera. "You should have listened the first time, but you buried the truth, and someone paid the price." The video cut off abruptly. A new message flashed on the screen. "Look behind you." Owen spun instantly, gun up. No one, but something scraped across the floor behind the laptop. Emily stepped forward slowly, eyes narrowing as she spotted it. A USB drive, labeled eCase 01, the same cold case she'd failed to solve years before. Emily grabbed the USB and plugged it into the laptop. The screen went black for a moment, then a series of encrypted files appeared. One opened automatically, a folder of photographs. All crime scene photos, but not from the current case. From her old case. Images she had never seen. Angles the police had never captured. Moments that could only have been taken by someone who was physically present. Someone close enough to follow every step of the investigation. "This is impossible," Emily muttered. Owen moved closer. He was there the whole time. Photo after photo flicked across the screen. Emily examining the storage unit years ago, interviewing the girl's parents, standing beside the taped-off perimeter. She hadn't known anyone was watching. She hadn't felt it. But the man behind this case had been documenting her from the shadows. Then the final image loaded. Picture taken inside her car. From the passenger seat. Emily felt her throat close. "He's been tracking me for years." Owen clenched his jaw. "This guy isn't just a predator. He's obsessed." A new window popped up on the screen. A countdown timer. 5 minutes. No instructions. "What happens when it hits 0? Owen asked. Before Emily could answer, the warehouse lights flickered violently, then shut off. Pitch black. A soft whisper echoed through the space. Not through speakers. Someone was inside the warehouse with them. Emily's heartbeat thudded in her ears as her vision dissolved into darkness. Owen switched on his flashlight, but the beam flickered uselessly, jammed by interference. A metallic clang echoed from deep within the warehouse. Then another, closer, like footsteps dragging something heavy. Emily gripped her weapon tighter. "Stay sharp. He's here." A faint red light blinked across the room. Emily turned toward it. The laptop had powered back on, but the screen was different now, no files, no timer. A live video feed. At first, the camera showed only blackness. Then the lens adjusted, and a dim room came into focus. A girl sat on the floor, zip-tied, shaking. A strip of duct tape over her mouth. The missing girl. She was alive. Emily stepped forward. "We've got her. Keep the feed steady." The camera jolted violently as someone grabbed it. The frame twisted sideways, and the man finally stepped into the shot. His face still hidden. But this time he leaned close enough that Emily could see the outline of a scar trailing down his jaw. "You've run out of time, detective." His voice was barely above a whisper. And now the real game begins. The screen cut to static. Then a new message typed itself across the laptop, letter by letter, as if someone was pressing invisible keys. Check the back wall. Emily and Owen turned slowly, flashlights shaking. At the far end of the warehouse, a metal panel had been slid open, revealing a hidden corridor descending underground. Cold air rolled out of it. Something moved down there. Something waiting. Owen whispered, "He built this." Emily exhaled once, steadying herself. "No," she said. "He built it for me." And the two of them stepped into the darkness. As the hidden door slammed shut behind them, the metal door slammed shut behind them, sealing Emily and Owen in a suffocating darkness broken only by their shaky flashlights. The narrow corridor descended deeper underground, concrete walls damp with condensation, each step echoing like distant thunder. Somewhere below, a generator hummed, vibrating faintly through the floor. Emily's instincts sharpened. This was no abandoned tunnel. This was engineered. "We're walking straight into his territory," Owen whispered. "We've been in it for years," Emily replied. "We just didn't know." A cold draft swept through, carrying the faintest trace of bleach and metal. The corridor widened into a chamber lit by harsh fluorescent bulbs. Old case files lay scattered across a long table. Photos of victims, missing persons reports, maps marked with circles. Some files were her own, others she'd never seen. "He's tracking multiple cases," Owen said. "This guy's been doing this a long time." Emily's breath hitched when she saw a board with her photo pinned dead center. Strings connected her picture to every victim, every location, every timeline. "He built this entire case around you," Owen murmured. No, it wasn't around her. It was because of her. She stepped toward another table, noticing a small glass container. Inside it sat a badge, an old detective's badge. Beneath it, a name she recognized instantly. The mentor she'd lost years ago to an unsolved disappearance. "He took him too," Emily whispered. Before Owen could answer, a soft click echoed through the chamber. A speaker crackled. Then his voice filled the room. "Welcome to the end, detective." Emily's pulse spiked as the voice reverberated through hidden speakers. "Calm, controlled, close. You've been chasing shadows while the truth stared you in the face," the man continued. "Everything I've done, every breadcrumb, every message, was to bring you here." Owen swept the room, searching for cameras. "He's watching us." Emily's eyes scanned the ceiling until she spotted them. Tiny black domes, dozens of them, angled with precision. "This isn't a trap," Emily muttered. "This is a reveal." A metallic whirring sound came from behind another door at the far end. Emily approached cautiously and pushed it open. Inside was a surveillance hub, multiple screens displaying live footage from city streets, highways, parking garages, apartment complexes. He wasn't just stalking victims. He was stalking the entire city. One screen caught her attention. A live feed of the girl they'd been searching for. She was tied to a chair in a dim concrete room. Alone, terrified, still alive. Emily tried the controls locked. Then the man's voice returned. "She's the last piece of the truth you refused to see." Emily clenched her jaw. "What do you want from me?" The speaker crackled with quiet laughter. "I want you to understand what you created." Owen frowned. "Created? What the hell is he talking about?" Another door slid open automatically on the side of the chamber, revealing a long staircase spiraling downward. "Come find me," the voice whispered, "and I'll show you." Emily didn't hesitate. She descended. The staircase dropped deep below river level, each step colder than the one before. At the bottom, Emily and Owen emerged into a vast underground room, an improvised bunker reinforced with steel beams and concrete. A single chair sat in the center, spotlighted. On it rested a folder labeled, "The First Victim." Her stomach twisted. Inside were photos of a young woman reported missing years before Emily became a detective. Photos of a frightened girl and handwritten notes. Notes written by the killer. But the name on the file made Emily's blood freeze. It was someone from her hometown, someone she had known as a teenager, someone whose case had never been solved. Owen read over her shoulder. "You knew her?" Emily nodded. "We weren't close, but I remember when she went missing. I was young. It was the first time I ever thought about becoming a detective." The realization hit her like a blow. "He didn't choose me because I was a detective," she whispered. "He chose me long before that." Her flashlight slid across the wall, revealing a mural painted in shadows. Photos of Emily over decades. School, college, academy, every milestone, every achievement. He wasn't following her career. He was shaping it. Owen's voice dropped. "He built your entire path." Emily swallowed hard. "He wants me to believe this all started with me." A sudden clatter echoed behind them. Emily spun around. The missing girl stumbled into the room, hands zip-tied, mouth taped, trembling violently. And behind her, footsteps, slow, deliberate. The silhouette of the man emerged from the shadows. Emily aimed her gun instantly, the beam from her flashlight landing on the man's chest, but not his face. He stayed within the shadows, as if darkness itself obeyed him. The missing girl collapsed against the wall, whimpering behind her tape. Owen stepped forward. "Hands up!" The man lifted his hands slowly, calmly, like he'd been waiting decades for this moment. "Everything you've seen," he said softly, "is because one person slipped through the cracks. One person you forgot." Emily's grip tightened. "Who are you?" He stepped 1 inch closer, enough for the light to reveal the scar along his jaw. The same scar she had seen in the video. "When I was a child," he murmured, "I watched my sister disappear. No one cared. Not the town. Not the police. Not the detectives. Not even the people who knew her." Emily froze. He wasn't a predator. He was a creation of tragedy. "She was the girl from your hometown," he continued. "The girl you barely remembered. The girl whose case shaped you, while it destroyed me." Emily shook her head. "I was a child. I didn't know." "That's the point," he whispered. "You grew up and became the answer to a question no one cared about. I became the reminder." He pointed at the missing girl. "And she is how I make sure you never forget again." Owen tightened his grip. "Let her go." The man tilted his head. "I already have." He dropped something on the floor. A detonator. Emily's blood ran cold. Emily lunged forward as the man stepped back into the darkness, slamming a steel door between them. Owen rushed to grab the detonator, but Emily screamed, "Don't touch it!" The device wasn't wired to the walls. It was wired to the chair. The missing girl. Emily tore across the floor, ripping away tape from the girl's mouth. "Listen to me, you're going to be okay. Look at me. Stay with me." Her voice softened, fierce but steady. Owen inspected the bomb, crudely built but powerful enough to collapse the bunker. "Timer's running. We've got 90 seconds. Emily examined the wires. Red, blue, white, yellow. Each route intentional. Each a message. Each a test. "He designed it for you," Owen said. "He wants you to choose." "No," Emily whispered. "He wants me to fail." Her hands steadied as she studied the device. Something felt off. Too simple. Too symmetrical. Then she realized the wires weren't the puzzle. The timer was. It wasn't counting down. It was counting up. "It's not a bomb," Emily muttered. "It's a trigger." "To what?" Owen asked. Emily followed the line into the floor, and her stomach dropped. It was wired to a massive steel shutter on the far wall. A hidden door. The final reveal. The timer hit 120. The shutter roared open. Behind it was a long concrete tunnel leading into an unknown blackness. No sound. No movement. A message was spray-painted across the entrance. "You can save her, or you can catch me. Choose." Emily froze. Owen whispered, "What do we do?" The girl sobbed, shaking uncontrollably. The tunnel waited. The man waited. Emily holstered her weapon and whispered, "We go after both." She grabbed the girl, pulled her to her feet, and stepped toward the tunnel as the lights behind them exploded into darkness. The end.